Hey, good morning everyone. It's Kaye here on my hill in Middle Tennessee, and I wonder if you can see the fog behind me. I came out and it's Sunday, so it's very quiet, and really it's magical. And I came out with my mug to try to get some UVA. You only get vitamin D from the sun when you're in your UVB section. So UVA is the other end of the light spectrum. It's the red end of the light spectrum, and the UVB is all the way over to the blue light of the spectrum. So it's very interesting, and I'm just learning, so I encourage everyone to look into it, because who knows, it might help you. It certainly helps with all kinds of things like depression, and certain illnesses are improved, have been. These are peer-reviewed studies that have shown that exposure to sun is healing. And even, I heard this from a doctor that was on a podcast who studied this, and he said that it has even shown that if you have a hospital room, the person in the bed next to the window goes home faster than the one inside. So if you're in that situation and you have to go to the hospital and stay in a double room, see if you can get by the window. Anyway, I just wanted to take you on a little tour of my raised bed garden. There's not a lot going on over there. It's September 6th or something like that. But I just found some Russian tarragon, and my parsley looks great. Well, I got some herbs, okay. And let's go over there and take a look. Okay, thyme, T-H-Y-M-E, is one of my favorite herbs. And you get to be the end of August and you don't have any thyme growing, and you go, what did you do, Kaye? How did this happen? And so I ordered 3 herbs from Growers Exchange. Thyme, marjoram, which I love. There is nothing better than marjoram with eggs. One of the herbs was very slight, shall we say. Ordering any plants at the end of your season is, risky. But the marjoram is taking off. The thyme looks okay. It's this big right now. But I wanted to show you what happened when I was planting the herbs the other day. Take a look. Okay, I ran in to get my camera and it disappeared. But I just saw the biggest... Do not tell me that thing got away. Oh, there it is. Look at the size of this grub. It's longer than... It is the length of 2 of my middle finger. Wow. I have to find out what this turns into, because I have no idea. So, I have this mesh top. This is for sprouts. No, that's actually for sprouts, I think. Come on, big boy. There you go. Now, I don't know how to get it any food. It was in dry soil, so I guess I don't need to worry about that. This is unscientific. Don't try this at home. But I just want to see what this turns into. And you know what occurred to me? There's probably a mate in here somewhere, because how did just one does not occur in nature. And I was wondering why my stevia didn't do well here. It's really good soil. You can see if they're eating on the roots. Okay, this is a last ditch effort to grow basil leaf. This is fantastic. This has managed to live all season, first in a small pot and then in this pot, and now it's finally getting a home. I seriously don't want to put my hand on that thing. Yes, I know, I should have my gloves on. But this was just a little one-off job. I'm not doing a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I've got it in here. This is the alfalfa meal. You can buy it in a big 40-pound bag and it'll last all season. And then mixed it with azomite, which is minerals, and you know, it won't hurt the soil. Even if this plant doesn't make it, it'll be good, you know. So okay, now as long as we're here, let's give these last two little herbs some TLC, which they're definitely in need of. This is my last stevia plant. It's growing in the shade. In fact, I almost feel like lifting it up, and you know, because I stuck it in here not that long ago. Now let's help out the emerald green basil. This is a new variety I'm growing, but it looks so similar to Italian Genovese, I really can't tell the difference. I think there's another little one right here. Okay. Okay, I'll report in on my grub and see what happens with that. If you're new to my channel, I live on a little over 9 acres in Tennessee, on a hill by myself, and I'm trying to live my best life here by growing my own food and preserving it and sharing the inspiration with all of you. Be sure and subscribe, click the bell for notifications, scroll down and click all so you won't miss an episode. Okay, so that grub, if you want to call that monster, is still in, well, the jar is still sitting over there. And what I'm hoping is, I mean, how much bigger could it have gotten? You know, when you're in the larval stage, you eat to your maximum size. In the case of monarch butterfly, it's the 5th instar. There's 5 instars, I-N-S-T-A-R. And so by the time they get to the 5th, it's almost like the size of a finger, you know, that long and about that thick. Not quite. That's more like the hornworm, but a little bit smaller. But you know, if you look at monarchs enough, you can easily tell whether they've shed their skin the last time and they're on their largest skin. Anyway, this grub was so huge, I thought, you've got to be done, buddy. you've got to be done eating, and it's time for you to make, in his case, it would be a pupa, I think. I don't know what it's going to turn into. What do grubs turn into? Beetles? I'm not sure. So the anise hyssop is going to be your #1 indestructible repeat herb in your garden. It's beautiful. The bees and butterflies love it, and it comes back and it comes back and it comes back. It came back all in my front, you know, and it's gonna come back in here, I'm sure. Well, it came up in here. I've pulled 4 or 5 that size out and dried them already. But it's so heavy now it's falling over because, you know, the soil in the raised bed is not as sturdy as if they come up in the yard, in the other parts of the garden. So I'm gonna harvest some. Let's go around and see what looks good enough to harvest. I think it's only the parsley and the Russian tarragon. Okay, there's not much to this. This is French tarragon. However, the sweet marjoram, look at that. I can't wait to dry some of that. Now this is basil leaf. I talked a lot about this last year because I had so much. Basil leaf, it grows these big meaty leaves that you can actually make wraps out of. So rather than slicing up a little basil to go in your wrap sandwich, you're wrapping your sandwich in the basil. Pretty cool, huh? This is my only stevia plant. It's got a little life going here. And this is the French thyme. So I'm hoping that that gets going. Because this hyssop plant was so huge, you know, it was hard to tell what was underneath here. And when I picked it up, I saw all my parsley, which I planted in the spring. So I've got some nice parsley. We're going to take some of that. And then once again, I have all of these cherry tomatoes. This is seriously the invasion of the cherry tomato. Look how it took over that bed. It's just insane. So I thought, you know, nothing else is growing in there. Just let them grow till the end of season. These are the kind of tomatoes that, you know, when you pull them off, the green comes off and you've already got the hole there, which is split a little bit. So you're going to need to eat that right away. Well, let's just do that. Oh my word. So good. Okay, so here is the #1 worm tower from my last video. And when we cleaned out the bed, I decided just to keep this kale here. I don't know what'll happen, but this is coming back. This does not look too promising here. And that's something else, but it is coming. In the middle you can see something happening there, so we'll see. It's not hurting anything. I haven't got any plans for this other than I was going to put some lettuce in here. Now I think parsley, we could put some in the freezer. You can certainly dry it in the dehydrator. It's getting a little ratty, a little ragged, so it's good that I'm out here now. Got a little coming back under here, so I think I'll leave that. And let's move over and get some Russian tarragon. Because of the pressure from this tomato just taking over, it's trying to escape. But it has a very big, look at that. It's like a bush. But each one of these little leaves are almost like little, just little long spikes. So I will cut all these thinner branches off of this big stem and dehydrate this. Okay. Looks nice. Except for these yellowing pieces over here, but you know, better than nothing. I grabbed a few clusters of these tomatoes because in a month I'll be wishing I had any kind of fresh tomato, right? I almost walked into this. Can you see this? That cobweb has moisture on it because of the fog and the dew. And it goes all the way over there. I'm not even sure what it goes to. Let's see. I can go underneath. Oh my word, it goes all the way up to the maple tree. How on earth did that even happen? Wow. Insects are amazing. Okay, this is the raised bed I just planted with lavender. And 1 pepper, 1 aster, and 1 rosemary. And it could just be because it's early, it's moist, it's foggy, it's cold, the soil is wet, I don't know, but I don't see any ant activity. And you can still see this product called Come and Get It sprinkled around the hole. Okay, I just want to caution you. If you have not had the sublime, I'm kidding, experience of nutgrass, I want to warn you about it. Because as Danny at Deep South Homestead says, you can't get rid of nutgrass. See, this is what you'll see on top. 1 million of these. You might just see a handful, like it's coming back here. And Chase just dug out as much as he could. But we had rain and boing! So this is what you may, if the soil is wet, you may be able to pull that much out. And you think, oh, I've got it. I've got that one. No, you don't. You don't have the nut. It's way down here somewhere off this thing. Okay? Yeah. Let's just dig down so I can demonstrate for you where it is. Okay? So you know how far you have to go. I mean, literally last year, we took this soil up a full shovel full, you know, we took it down a foot, put it all through a 1/2-inch screen, and put it back in. And wow, did you see it at the beginning of the last video? This was solid. After we harvested the potatoes and the onions, remember this was onions? And then a few volunteer potatoes were in there. And then once they came out, and I was keeping, while those were growing, I was hand pulling out all the nutgrass that was coming up. But once they were harvested, I just forgot about it. You know, there's more things, more important things. So it was all solid, the whole thing. Number one, it's much easier to get it out when the soil is wet. I have excavated this for you right here. So this is a junction, and there's a nut on here. Now some people actually, they've told me they've actually eaten these, but that's the nut there. And you see it's got 1, 2, 3, and they'll be interconnected. And then they come all the way up to the surface. That's what you have to look for. So this is the plant that's sitting with just a few roots on the ground right here. And then there's a runner that goes way down to the system. You see, that's how they're connected. Can imagine it underground. Bear in mind, we're just excavating one small area. If you pull hard though, it'll just snap off. Even as much rain as we got, 1 inch down, it's not even wet. And see, that one is just, it's not even got the nut there. It was wetter. But unless you can get these nuts out, it'll never stop, you know? And how do they get there? If we took all of this soil out and screened it, how did it get there, you know? I got out what I could, and there's nothing else visible. But it'll be back. I do have one dandelion here. Just leaving that for the root. Okay, this is my asparagus bed. I had the best season this year ever. And we ate asparagus. Denora was here for a couple of weeks and we were eating asparagus end of March, all of April. Well, I was. End of March, all of April, all of May. And so I should have cut all these big ones. You're supposed to, and eaten them. You're only supposed to let the little skinny ones go to fern. But I just got so tired of asparagus, I let it all go, and now this whole thing is just exploded. But look, still getting asparagus. This is the end of summer. This is a spring vegetable. That is as tender and delicious as it was in the spring. Why wait and have to cook something and just eat it? Anyway, all of those ferns will die back and they'll come back next year. That's the beauty of it. Okay, I just wanted to show you my fig bush. This is a monstrosity. This dies all the way back to the ground and puts up new shoots in the spring. And this is the 4th year and I've never had a fig. But this year there was one branch that kind of stood out and I never should have planted it this close to the peach tree. It needs to have full sun. The peach tree was so loaded above it that it was just completely kind of covered. And so I went ahead and pruned the peach tree back when the peaches failed. And I put one stake in here for this tallest one. Up there, there is a fig that's that big. And look what else is still absolutely stunning, and I still want to make a video about it, is this wheat celosia. It's especially beautiful in this fog. When that thing puts out seed, it's going to be probably the only thing that'll grow up here. No pawpaws for another year. I don't know when or if I'll ever get one. I finally got the pawpaws behind the fence so that if they did make a fruit, the deer wouldn't eat it and also wouldn't eat the leaves back. But you see I've got brown spot on this, and that's really prevalent around here on the trees. Let's check on those peas. Well, they definitely came up. I put down a lot of seed just in case. And it looks like it's time to drop that net down. I am wearing my earthing shoes. So I am grounding even though it's cold. I don't want to be barefoot. I'm not barefoot farmer. So there is a copper slug in the middle of the foot, and that connects with the ground and connects with you. So that's, plus they're leather. Hey everybody, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know there's a lot of other content out there that you could be spending time with, and I hope I have provided you with something beautiful and informative and entertaining. That's always been my goal. So thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Hit that like on the way out. Have a great day. See you next time.